There are a number of studies that shows that ivermectin is effective against a various number of cancers. And so this is my concern, right? Is that so in a future quote unquote pandemic, right, ivermectin pops back up again, and because the World Health Organization has all of the member nations under a binding contract, they decide, well, ivermectin is no longer effective. And what happened in Canada with ivermectin, we weren't able to get it at all. Doctors could not prescribe it. Pharmacists could not fill prescriptions for it. There were a number of stories of people returning from overseas who had parasitic infections that couldn't get ivermectin because basically it was locked down. And so when you look at that on a global scale, right, like let's say, somewhere in East Africa where parasitic infections are extremely common, right, and the World Health, and we're under some sort of kooky health emergency at the time, which under this pandemic treaty, I don't know if you've seen lately, but we've seen the World Health Organization declare racism as a health emergency and climate change as it's insane, right? It's crazy. It's like, what are we doing? But what it is it's just a taste test for things to come, right? Like, somebody somewhere in France, there could be what could be considered a hate crime, and all of a sudden we have a hate crime health emergency, right? And under these self-declared emergencies, let's say ivermectin, they go, nope, no to ivermectin. No, we're not doing that. That's not a sanctioned drug. So what does that do to you as a doctor? Because now you're hamstrung, right? If you have to adhere to WHO guidelines, you can't prescribe off-label medications anymore. So you're basically now what you said before, you're just one of those avatars.
I think it's different in different countries. In the US, we have a system of compounding pharmacies, and those kind of pharmacies have generally always been sympathetic to alternative practitioners. People use vitamins, and so we have I call them the Underground Railroad. So we have that. We have that kind of safe haven, but that could also be destroyed very quickly. They could also go after them. Luckily, they went after some compounders, but it wasn't a huge, aggressive, offensive thing against them. But there's many ways that they could hurt our ability to treat patients. And I don't even want to imagine that situation, Jason.